So the Niagara Escarpment is a really complex, it's a peninsula bounded on three sides by water. So to the north, Lake Ontario, to the south, Lake Erie, and then to the east, you have the Niagara River. There's a massive lake effect with Lake Ontario. As the warm breezes come off the lake, they run into an escarpment, a big ridge of land that sticks up like a spine along the middle of the peninsula, and that warm air gets trapped in, and it helps moderate our climate, makes grape growing possible here, both surviving our cold winters for the vines, but also moderating our climate through the growing season. The Short Hills Bench is a really unique place because it's one of the southernmost appellations in the region. There's 10 sub-appellations. This is one of the southernmost. It's also one of the warmest during the daytime, but quite cool at night. So you get a real extreme diurnal shift up to about 14 degrees Celsius at the peak times, and that just creates great bright flavors in the wines.
Henry Pelham, over the years, we've put together, accumulated about 300 acres of estate vineyards. We're very fortunate. They're all one continuous piece ultimately. They're several properties all adjacent to each other. And it really encompasses the original vineyards of Henry of Pelham himself, Henry Smith, going back to the early 1800s, and two of his brothers neighboring what would have been their neighboring properties. So yeah, what's unique about Short Hills Bench, there's a couple of things. One, the soil type is all fairly uniform, heavy clay type soils, which are great for premium wine production, keeps the plants relatively small. Berry sizes tend to be a little small, so we really have grown to love the soil that our vineyards have.
Sustainability has been a big project for Henry of Pelham really since the beginning of the millennium. We started really focusing on sustainable winemaking and sustainable farming in the early 2000s. We were part of a small group of wineries that created Sustainable Winemaking Ontario. And that now is a certified, audited process. And it's really about lowering our footprint in the winery and in the vineyard. We've changed the way we build our buildings, for example. We created a barrel cellar, went underground to use as much natural temperature. Right into the vineyards, we converted one old pond and created a new pond and put natural biofilters in them so that all the drain off of the vineyards goes through these natural filters into these ponds so that the water, by the time it leaves our vineyards, is clean and ready to eventually get into Lake Ontario. We use industry and global best practices as sort of the guidelines of where we should be. And it's extremely important. I mean, we make a living from the land. We're in a really special part of the world. This is the Niagara Escarpment, and the Greenbelt is a UNESCO World Biosphere. And sustainable farming and winemaking is all about preserving our natural surroundings and also making sure that the land is in the best shape it can be so that it'll grow the best grapes, which will ultimately make the best wine that can be made from this land. And it's a very important part of what we do.